We're live.
What's up, y'all?
John and Nadia Melton here. We're coming to you live. And from what we understand, the word on the street is that Marina and the summit, they broke the internet, right? So let's just be sure, John, you're going to be like a prompt, baby. You entertain the people.
Oh, what's up, Raquel? How we doing? Are you guys excited? We're going to be closing this out with a bang. Of course, it's going to be Nadia doing the most epic outsourcing training in the history of forever.
Thank you, John.
And honestly, on a serious note, if you want to earn multiple six or seven figures, let us know in the comments. I'm going to tell you right now, there's no way we could do what we do without our virtual team.
That's right.
I know Marina's team is just as incredible and amazing. And it's really exciting because you can outsource for pennies on the dollar. You could literally have a virtual team that is awake when you're sleeping. And it's just something that has to be done if you want to level up. Because too many of us get caught up in the minutia in our business. We get too caught up on non-income producing activities, some of those tedious tasks that drain and suck our energy. No bueno. So it's time to outsource. If you don't know anything about outsourcing or you've never seen Nadia's training around this topic, you're going to want to take notes. She's going to give it to you fast and furiously. Yeah. But I'm telling you, this is the reason multiple six, and especially seven-figure earners are able to do what they do. And, you know, the power in outsourcing, especially these days online, is that you can create that omnipresence and literally be everywhere, right? The reason you might see us all over the internet, it's because we have a team helping us on the back end with a lot of what we do. So I'm excited. I'm going to turn it over to the Russian Hammer. She's a freaking genius. She's brilliant when it comes to this conversation. So take notes and get ready.
I know. I love it. Okay, you guys, I hope you're ready. Thank you so much for your comments. So I have crunched a lot of content here we have about 30 minutes together. And I got to tell you, I get a little bit fired up about this particular conversation because we only have one life to live. Like, not to be dramatic, but hey, listen, y'all. YOLO, right? And the fact that you're here, obviously, right? This event has been amazing. How many of us are ready to go implement, right? And how many of us also realize that there's certain superpowers that you have that nobody else can do for you. But then there's also things in your life, especially now with all of us being home, everybody's home, right? I don't know about you, but in my household, legitimately, everybody's always hungry. It's kind of crazy. The kids are here. The dog is here. John is here. So we have to really step up our game on the business side of things, but also the whole balancing side of things. So let's go ahead and kick it off. I am super humbled, super excited to be here. I want to bring a ton of value your way. So let's do it. All right. You can have it all, but you cannot do it all. Let us just go ahead and soak it up, because for the first 10 years of my entrepreneurial journey, I continued to burn myself out. Like, it was a little dramatic, right? And maybe let me know in the comments if you can relate to that, because you put so much on your plate and then you try to conquer it all and then your battery runs low. It's kind of like if you have the best cell phone on the planet, but if you don't charge it and you run too many applications on that phone, it's going to be bogged down. You're not going to be your very best, and you're not going to have a happy life. And you know what? Stress causes wrinkles, ladies. And I think it's important to know that and like avoid it at all cost. So I want to help you with this. So let's talk how to be happier and more profitable, how to balance family, business, and life, how to become clear with what to outsource. So if you're struggling with, I don't even know where to begin, I'm going to give you some very simple, actionable steps that I promise you are going to help you so much, what you should be outsourcing right now. And we're going to get a little technical too with 3 types of outsourcers, how to find the best ones, and how to build a massive business, live the dream, travel the world, and TikTok whilst doing it. Oh my gosh, it is my new favorite platform, a little obsession. may shine through. Now, in case we've never met and you're listening to my accent, I am originally from Russia. I actually moved to the US when I was 16 years old by myself. I came through an exchange program. And by the age of 19, when I got my business degree, I quickly learned entrepreneur is probably going to be my life, right? So I actually met John. You guys had an opportunity to learn from him. I swear God was smiling upon me when he put this man into my life. So we've been together for what seems like forever. We grew up together. We've seen the good, bad, and the ugly inside the network marketing profession. And I feel like over the last 7-8 years, we've been cracking the code, not to just like systems and processes on the business side of things, but also we've been dialing it really in on how can we build a business around that life? Do you know what I mean? How can we be home? How can we be present? How can we kind of like conquer it on all, cylinders? Is that a phrase? On all cylinders? It is now. Thank you, John. All right. So today we have a couple different businesses. We run a multi-million-dollar brand whilst hanging on to our hairs. LOL, LOL, LOL. So let's go ahead and dive in. Okay. So let me know in the comments, you guys. This is a really good quiz. I want to know where your head is at. Are you A, B, C, or D, right? Are you the type of person, if I want it done right, I better do it myself? Or B, superhero syndrome. I've noticed a lot of entrepreneurs, we suffer from this, where we underestimate how much time something is going to take us. We overestimate our bandwidth, and then nothing really stops us. We figure it out. We're resourceful people. So superhero syndrome is what causes a lot of people to burn out. I don't know if you can relate to that. C, OMG, let me save the cash. So some of us maybe struggle a little bit, in the area of I'd rather save the money. Like maybe you think you can't afford to outsource. And let me tell you this. One of the business coaches that I was learning from some time back said, listen, if you have a 6-figure business and you don't have an assistant, you're crazy. And then another entrepreneur said, until I hired a virtual assistant or an assistant, period, I didn't make 6 figures. So it just makes sense. Or D, you don't know where to even start. Let me see where you guys are at. So a lot of B's. I see some A's. So A's and B's. Okay, good. Well, you guys are in the right place. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead. So first of all, let's talk about this. And I want you to write this down because this for me took me like a little while to learn this, but your team is not going to cost you money. Your team is going to make you time and money, right? And why you need to outsource is because you are the visionary of your business. In order for you to reach that next level of success that is reserved for the elite in your field, you have to retrain your brain and you have to elevate your energy. So you want to ask yourself, and this is something that I challenge myself with every single month, at least. I take a look at my operations and I like to catch that bird's eye view and say, okay, what processes right now are repetitive? What can I hand to somebody else? So, and the big question is, how can this get done with the least amount of effort and energy on my part? How can this get done? Is what you're doing daily right now making the biggest impact that you can make? Okay, so let's take a look at this. You have all of these different facets, all of these different hats that you're wearing. You have your business, you have your family, you got hopefully mental, physical, spiritual, operation happening. You got your finances, right? So you got to be balancing it all, but you also have to take a look at the different things that you're doing. And here's the 3 questions that I would, put all of your activities through. So first of all, what drives you? Like what gives you energy, right? There's certain activities in your business that, drive the revenue, right? What are those 2 to 3 income producing activities that you cannot outsource? Only you can do it. It's going to drive the revenue. It's going to drive the business. Then let's take a look at, well, what activities are draining your energy? I'll give you a good example. So back in the day, I used to, for a couple of weeks out of the year, I would lock myself in an office and I would go through all of my receipts. I would get really optimized with all of my bookkeeping stuff. I didn't have a bookkeeper at the time. I didn't really comprehend this conversation of energy, right? And I hated it. Like for 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks out of the year, I was miserable. And let's not dismiss the fog in the back of your mind, because you go, oh, are all of the transaction, should this be a business write-off? Is this correctly organized? Anyways, reluctantly, I got the message that I ought to bring people on. And one of the first hires, if you do not have this in your business yet, should be a bookkeeper. And when I hired Bonnie, legitimately, my happiness levels increased times 1,000. It was that crazy. Why? Because now I had somebody that loved what she did. She was really, really good at it, helped me optimize my back end when it came to taxes. So the year that I brought her on, we paid, I think it was something like $150,000 in taxes. The next year, we made 3 times more money. We paid less in taxes because we also started to implement different tax strategies that she saw that I couldn't see at the time. And you guys, in our business, a lot of times we forget that it's not about how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. And how can we be so optimized in every level, right? So what drains you, that is going to lead, I promise you, to better optimization, better happiness. And what are those activities that you are avoiding, potentially, right? How many of us recognized that there are areas you learned during this virtual event that, man, maybe I ought to optimize my TikTok strategy or get better at Instagram prospecting, right? But right now you're so tied down by all the other stuff. Stop it. Stop the nonsense. Close the window on that nonsense, right? Okay, so let's go ahead. How do we gain the clarity? So here's an exercise that is really, really, really powerful, where I want to challenge you to sit down and make a list of everything that you do on a weekly basis. Legitimately, just do a brain dump, get a piece of paper, get a pen, everything you do from Monday morning until you go to bed on Sunday night. So are you cooking? Are you doing laundry? Are you doing housekeeping? Are you doing bookkeeping? What is it that you're doing? Then we're going to highlight 2 to 3 income producing activities that you cannot outsource, that you gotta spend more time doing those activities, which in turn is going to bring in more income for your family. And then we're going to outsource some things that are snapping your energy, right? And dude, here's what I know is, in order for you to reach that next level of success, it's all about energy. It's all about energy. If you're motivated now, but you wake up tomorrow morning and your body says, dude, we gotta go back to bed, that's gonna be a hindrance to your business. So we outsource, and then now you're gonna find yourself more energetic. You're going to find yourself in a place where you have more energy to now learn those things that could even bring more money into your business. Now, I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of the different opportunities, right? But take a look at this chart. You guys, let us take a look at it and let us even visualize how fancy you're going to be. You have a virtual assistant, and you have a bookkeeper, and you have a graphic designer, you have a web person, video editor. Now, you're not going to bring on all of these people all at once. I want to recommend to you that you zoom in on essentially what is your number one anxiety right now. Maybe type it into the chat so that way I can see examples. I can speak to you directly, right? So what is your biggest anxiety right now? So I gave you an example for me. Some time back, bookkeeping was a major anxiety. It legitimately had fog in my brain, right? So then a couple of years ago, I noticed, because we're all working from home, and when we are hungry, we need to have solutions so we're prepared, right? So for some of us, it could be that once a week we prep our food, right? For some of us, we must hire a chef. Maybe that's the first person that you hire. But for some of us, we can outsource to now different programs like food deliveries. There's so many opportunities to optimize your time, yes, but most importantly, eliminate the stress. So that way you're not snapping your energy because, you're hungry, or you're married to a guy that's hungry, and that's called hangry. And then everybody's pissed, and that just doesn't work, right? Okay. So take a snapshot of that. Now let's take a look at, you guys, 3 types of outsourcers. 3 types of outsourcers. Okay, so I see cleaning, cooking, landscaping, housekeeper, web staff. Yes, and I'm going to share some resources with you guys, because nowadays, like the internet, there's so many cool tools and apps where you can hire people locally, but then also when we take a look at virtual assistants, if you think globally, which you should, Coca-Cola does, you can hire talent, amazing talent globally at pennies on the dollar. It's ridiculous. Okay, so 3 types of outsources. You got number 1 is what we call ongoing type of work. So this is your virtual assistant, bookkeeper, landscaper, somebody that is ongoing person. Number 2, you got project-based. So you can have, like, for an example, on our team, we have a couple of graphic designers that we don't have them like on a retainer. We don't have them on a salary, but we have them on 99 Designs. So whenever we need graphics done, we have 2 people that we go to, and we've been working together for years now, right? So we have that piece, graphic designer. So when you need something done, you have it. And then you guys, let us think number 3, systems or software. So this could be, the food delivery weekly system that you have, right? They deliver meals to you every week, or you have some kind of system in place, autoresponder, auto posting on social media, where we can create some stuff. Okay. Next, 2 types of jobs. We already covered it, but let us relive it. Number 1, we have offline jobs. So this is any job or task where geographical proximity plays an important factor. So, if you live in the US, right, and we're looking to hire a personal assistant, that would not be my first hire, because we're going to pay premium price for talent in the United States, right? So online jobs, and this is where I'm going to teach you guys how simple it is to virtually bring on talent for as little as $4 or $5 an hour or a task. And these are jobs that can be performed anywhere in the world, which means it opens up all of this opportunity where, as an entrepreneur, you guys, especially in those beginning stages where you don't have a whole lot of revenue to spend on sourcing, right? We could really, really, really be smart and strategic, which is amazing. Okay, so offline outsourcing resources. So I put together a couple of links for you guys if you're not aware. Like this for me, I get so excited. I don't know if you can tell. I get excited. I can hardly hide it. But these are a couple of different websites that you can check out for those of us that are looking for either housekeeping or maybe somebody that you want to come over once or twice a week to help you with laundry. It's not that expensive. You have the meal kit delivery services. My current favorite is Freshly. Have you tried it? It's so yummy. It is delicious. You can get your groceries delivered, hand-to-man, home projects, organizations, random tasks. These are awesome. Okay, I hope you took a screenshot. Let us scooch over next. Virtual teams. This right here is legitimately a gold mine. So let's review the 5 steps. Okay, the 5 steps to helping you become so optimized on the web that you become omnipresent. How many of us have learned that in business and in marketing, money follows eyeballs? So if we can expand our bandwidth, if we can expand our connective tissue on the internet, cha-ching, right? But you don't have to be the one to have to be everywhere all the time. So the vision that I cultivated a couple years ago is I said, you know what? I want to create a life where once a week, if it's just once a week, I show up, I do a live broadcast, whether it's a Facebook Live or whatever platform at the time. So Facebook Live, and then it's one broadcast for the week. It's my value delivery. But then I can build a team around me so that one video can be repurposed into IGTV. It could be snippets of like copy for Instagram, for LinkedIn, for TikTok. We can now have this engine created where if we take a week off, a month off, stuff is out there and stuff continues to show up. Does that make sense? How many of us can get excited about that? Like that would be living the dream, right? But before we get into that state, the first thing we got to do is we got to get our virtual life organized. I'm going to give you a couple of tools that will be life-changing for you. So we got to get organized with your digital data. Number 2, we have to secure your online assets. How many of you guys have ever been hacked, right? Or have seen people that got hacked? And so, listen, it's so very important that, yes, we secure all of your digital life for sure. So that way, when you bring on your virtual assistant that maybe lives in Philippines, you don't want to give that person your actual social media login and password. And not because you don't trust that person, but because they might be logging on from an insecure internet connection or something like that. You just don't know. Right? So we got to secure your assets. When I remember the first web designer that I hired. So we started building out a website back in 2013. Oh, do you guys remember 2013? It seems like forever ago. It's crazy. So I hired this Indian virtual assistant, and I didn't really know much about the space at all. So I hired her before I knew all these things. And I gave her my internet access, to my web page. Do you understand? And then she did whatever she did. Anyways, the relationship didn't work out. I ended up firing her. But before I fired her, I forgot to change my username and password. And so she, put a virus on my website. Lesson learned, right? Sometimes we learn difficult lessons. So we need to secure our online assets. Number 3, we interview, hire, manage your virtual team. Number 4, we have systems in place that we now have to maximize your effectiveness and give you that omnipresent factor. And then number 5, we live the dream. Okay, how are you guys doing? Am I totally just speed cruising? Are you okay? Should we slow down? Should we pause? Should we meditate? Meditation is going to be key to your success as well. Chelsea says, yes, love this. Excited, amazing, good. Grocery life is life. Okay, you guys, you let me know. Okay. So let's go ahead for virtual outsourcing. Let me give you a couple of my very favorite tools, okay? Number 1, I'm a huge fan of rev.com for captions and transcriptions. They say something like 80%, maybe even 90% of people watch video with volume off. So some of you guys, this is going to be an easy way to just optimize you even more on the internet if you have live videos. Now, what's really cool now with Facebook, they have kind of like auto captions, but on other different platforms, if you want to add that, or you have now, imagine you brought in a virtual assistant because you're not good at writing and you want a ghost writer, but you're really good at doing live videos. So imagine you show up, you do your live video, and then you take that video, or your assistant, better yet, they take the video, they upload it over to rev.com. That service gives them a transcript, and then your ghostwriter can just dress up your speaking words so they now look beautiful as written words, and voila. Matter of fact, that's how we do our blog. I don't write anything. I learned a long time ago. First of all, English is my second language, right? And then writing, it's not my thing. I don't love it, but I can implement a system where we do a video, and then we have a transcript, and then we have a ghostwriter who dresses it up, but it's our words. Does that make sense? Number one. Number two, we have Meet Edgar. You guys let me know if you've heard of it. Do you use it? Now, this tool is a little bit more advanced. The reason why I wanted to recommend it to you is because if you ever get overwhelmed by feeling the pressure to constantly create new content, right? Well, listen, if you've been doing social media for more than a year, you've already created a ton of content. So what if once a month, you implement a strategy where your VA does an audit and identifies your best pieces of content and then puts them into your Meet Edgar library, where it now creates an auto posting schedule, and it doesn't post the same piece of content until the whole bucket essentially circulates. Now, if this is a little bit like over your head right now and you've never heard of it, just write it down for notes for later, because I wanted to kind of give it to you. And then listen, some of you guys, you're going to be able to implement the strategy 6 months from now, right? When you're ready to integrate that into your social media strategy. But this is a tool, right, that we now use to help us take our very best content and circulate it through our different social media platforms, so we don't have to do it like by hand every single day. Okay. Number three, I love Plan, and it helps you plan out your Instagram content. Really cool. This is a tool that I use with my virtual team as well. Really, really awesome. Number four is Fiverr.com. Fiverr.com. Let me know in the comments if you've heard of this tool. And then number five is Upwork.com. So Fiverr.com, let me back up a little bit, right? So when I first got the message, again, loud and clear, that I have got to stop burning myself out, because legitimately it's just not good to do over and over and over again. But at the same time, I have personality where, let's just call it perfectionitis. You know what I mean? So I subscribe to the belief, if I want it to be done right, I have to do it myself. And then I burned myself out so much, I finally adopted a new motto. And my new motto became, if I can outsource it to somebody who can do it at 80% quality, you know what I mean? It's better than me doing it. And I had to train myself step by step by step to let go of control, you know? So Fiverr.com was like the perfect resource for me to train myself legitimately in the beginning. So quick and easy task you can outsource for as little as $5 a task. And you don't have that fear of like, oh my gosh, am I committing to like somebody every week? What about if I don't have like work for them every week? You know what I mean? If you have that personality, it's a beautiful place to start. Now, I started there today. 90% of my virtual team, we run on Upwork.com. And it's a global marketplace where essentially they bring people that need work with people who do work, and it's global. So you're going to find talent there anywhere from $3, $4, $5 an hour, all the way to hundreds of dollars an hour, depending on where the person is located. But I'll tell you, my very favorite country to outsource to is Philippines. And I'm going to give you some ads and some examples of how you can get started with that. But that's how we do it today. And our virtual team, I think, is now up to 10 people. So we have a couple of video editors. We have a couple of virtual assistants. We have a ghostwriter, project manager. We have a couple of graphic designers, a web developer. But again, let me back up a little bit. I started by just hiring Marie on Upwork.com. And you guys, seriously, Marie became like a part of my family. We paid her at the time, this was 6 years ago, 7 years ago. We started her out at $4 an hour. How crazy is that? So think about it right now. When you make that list, remember we talked about the 3 ways, the 3 steps to help you get clarity on what to outsource, and maybe start thinking like admin, virtual, maybe responding to comments. Maybe you right now are growing your social media and you have a lot of people that are sending you friend requests or following you, and you don't have the bandwidth to personally reach out to each person to say hi. Well, you can have a virtual assistant to do it for you. I'll give you guys a perfect example. We have a girl on our team that literally just set up her TikTok account. She created her first or second video where she shared like, this liquid collagen product, right? Or she talked about starting a business, one or the other. And that video blew up and she had all these comments. Well, imagine if your virtual assistant could help you with all of that. Now, I'll tell you this. I'm not a fan of teaching the virtual assistant to act like you. The way that we have it done now is our virtual assistant would say, hey, Mary, thank you so much for following John. So we have it implemented on John's social media. This is Bam, his virtual assistant. And then like we have the whole thing, right? Anyways, I got carried away. Let us stay focused. So number 6, we got 99 Designs. This is the place that we go to for our graphic design. Okay. All right. So let me keep going. Okay, you guys, write this down here. We have LastPass and 1Password. So essentially, what you want to do before you even think about bringing on your very first virtual assistant, you have to make sure that you integrate. First of all, you secure your passwords. That's really, really important. We don't need to talk about that. But then what happens with LastPass, that's my favorite tool right now, the way that it works. How many of you guys, let me know in the comments if you've heard of it, if you use it. But essentially, you create one master password, and then you have an extension on your browser. They also have an app on your phone so that as you log in to different websites, if your password is not saved in the vault of passwords, it'll say, hey, do you want to save this password, right? And then over a couple days, like when you first installed the thing, it'll save your passwords, whatever. But then let's say you bring on your virtual assistant, instead of your virtual assistant now having your login and password, but they need to, let's say, log into your Facebook account or whatever, you just assign them. You guys listen to this. It's genius. You assign them a set of passwords. So they create their own LastPass account. They have their own like extension on their browser, but you give them a vault of passwords so they can log into everywhere they need to log in, but they never see the password. You're welcome. Isn't that amazing? I swear, this is a life changer. So very good. Okay, so make sure you secure your social media, all this stuff. And then when you bring somebody on, you assign them passwords, and it's very easy, breezy, beautiful. LastPass. Ding. Okay. So Fiverr and Upwork, you guys take a minute, check it out. I want to challenge you to find somebody for $5 to outsource a task to. So cool. See how they do graphic design, music, audio. Like you want maybe like a cool little fancy intro for your video. Like how many of you guys are not very good at editing videos? Now, am I a fan? And am I going to tell you, listen, you should learn to do those integral parts of marketing, because how can you be effective at managing a team that's doing it is you know how to do it, right? So like today, I manage a team that does all of our different stuff, but I can build my own website. I can build my own sales page. I can do all these different things, but it's not the best use of my time, but I can manage the team effectively, right? But listen, you only have so much time in a day. You have only so much bandwidth. So let us go ahead and start with Fiverr. With Upwork, my very favorite place to be. And let me tell you why also I love it is because when you hire somebody on that platform, what happens is when the person, let's say Marie, right, my virtual assistant Marie, when she started doing the work, she has to log in through Upwork software. And when she's working, like when she clocks in, right, the Upwork setup, they take random screenshots. So at the end of the week, you can go and you can take a look and make sure that, you know, the diary or the screenshots, like you can, and that kind of gives you peace of mind. So for the first month or two, when we bring somebody new to the team, like we do that, right? Like we help them get started, like we make sure it's a right fit and whatever else. And I wanted to show you guys here a sample ad that we place when we look for a virtual assistant. So essentially, you're going to place an ad on Upwork. Okay. And then example of tasks, I want you to think about those activities that you're doing right now that need to be done. You know what I mean? It's a snooze fest. It has to be done, but maybe it snaps your energy. You don't love it. It's not an income producing activity. It doesn't bring you any joy. It has to be done. Maybe it's customer support. Maybe it's moderating comments. Maybe it's doing research for your upcoming video. Maybe it is doing some social media management or reposting or doing analytics where once every 30 days, they go in and they examine the evidence and they let you know, hey, these were your top 5 posts on these platforms. I'm going to go ahead and load them into Meet Edgar for you. Does it make sense? Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? I'm seriously beginning to sweat. This is so exciting. Right? So listen, you write down exactly what tasks need to be done. And then as you can see, I also added beautiful copy here. Must be fluent in writing. By the way, this is why I like to outsource to Philippines because they speak most of them. They already speak fluent English, which is really, really awesome. And they're so grateful. You guys legitimately, some of my very favorite people on the planet. Like I am obsessed with Philippines. I don't know why I'm still living in America, to be honest with you. Either Philippines or Mexico. Anyways, I haven't decided. So you place the ad and then you're going to start to get a bunch of applications. Do you know what I mean? And then you do the interviewing process. But you guys, you can hire somebody amazing for $45 an hour. Seriously, it'll change your life. I'm not even kidding you. All right, let me show you one more. Okay, video editor. I'm seeing your comments, you guys. Some of us are not a fan. It is tedious, right? Tedious to the point where you want to pull your hair out. I get it. Video editor. How can you find this person? Take a screenshot of this to just kind of give you a little bit of an example of what the ad could look like, and then you get to work. You guys, you get to work, right? Last but not least, we have content writing. So this is also really cool. Some of you are ready to hire somebody to help you with your copy. There you go. Anyways, I said it. I meant it. Let me disconnect. Marina, how am I doing? How long have I been talking? How can I tell? 38 minutes. You guys, I think I crushed it. You let me know in the comments below. And I also know this because you all have just gone through a very intense curriculum at this event. I mean, seriously, do you feel like you're so inspired, but you're also feeling like maybe your brain was put in a blender and blended with the top off? Do you know what I mean? That's how I always feel at the end of an event. And I got to tell you, I wanted to throw a lot at you. I wanted to throw everything at you but the kitchen sink, because different strokes for different folks, you know how that goes. So what I want you to do, and maybe share with me in the comments, and we'll close with that. Unless, Marina, if you want me to answer a question or two, you let me know. It's your world. I live in it. But you let me know what is going to be the one tip that you're going to implement, because ideas are plenty, implementation is key. And whenever I feel like, you know what, I don't think I'll ever get it. I don't think I'll ever figure this out. I want to ground you back into the fact that you got yourself here. And the fact that you're watching this training speaks so highly of you. And I'm so proud of you that you are here. Obviously, you're going to figure this out and you're going to look back a year from now, 5 years from now, and you're going to be like, yeah, it wasn't even that bad. You know what I mean? So pick out one idea. Let us implement it. It could be as little as you go to Fiverr.com and you hire somebody to do a graphic for you for $5. Because you know what? It needs to be, graphic-y. We live in a world where it is unfortunately over-branded, right? So we do need to maybe step up our game just a little bit, but you could do it at pennies on the dollar, y'all. Pennies on the dollar. Thank you so much for your comments. Oh, so much useful information. Video editing. Yes. I need to go back and look at everything. Yes, Roxanne, I love that. Bookkeeper. Melissa, I agree. If I were brand new right now and I had no team at all, the order would be, number one would be a bookkeeper. Because you guys, legitimately, there's no way we would have hit a 7-figure income until we got our books in order. How many of you guys also believe that God will not give you a bigger territory to manage until you do a good job with the one that you have? And some of us need to really, tighten things up. So bookkeeper would be my first hire. My second hire would be a virtual assistant. So somebody that can help with tedious tasks that need to be done, but don't require my talent. Does that make sense? Michelle says, so inspired and so glad I invested in lifetime recordings. Amen, sister. So many of these lessons I will be replaying again and again. I love it. Okay, cool. Marina is closing out. I love you guys. Says, Chelsea, we love you too. That's why I'm here. Okay, so I think we're good. All right, you guys. Well, listen, this is a wrap. Thank you so much for being here. Legitimately, I'm so proud of you. Go crush it. Marina's coming back, and let me know in the comments. I'm going to be checking in the comments. If you have a question or two, drop it. I'll try to get to all of you guys' questions. But thank you so much for being here. We love you. We love you, Marina. And we'll see you guys soon. Go crush.